this?
It's about you buying replica handguns and turning them into the real thing.
All for nothing?
Told you wouldn't find any shooters.
Tony Stamp's just handed in a Browning 9mm.
We're going to have school kids swapping the lollies for him soon.
The Bill, Tuesday at 8 on Carlton.
In just under an hour here on Carlton, Millionaires lifts the lid on the life of lottery winner Lee Ryan. Now all the lunchtime stories in London today.
Good afternoon. The big story in London today, the tragedy of Tom Dowling. The 4-year-old left brain damaged after picking up the E. coli bug on a school trip. His family want to know why it was allowed to happen.
It's probably one in a million children it happens to, but I mean, you can't afford to take the risk of that one.
In a moment, what are the warning signs that parents should look out for? Plus, Daniel's message of hope after Fergie's fight to save Ashley Bryce. The Duchess lends her support to another 10-year-old Londoner battling leukemia. And a decade after Dempsey and Makepeace, the man behind one of telly's toughest cops tells me all about his mysterious new movie. Tom Dowling may never be able to walk or feed himself again, all because of a simple school day out. Tom was with a group of friends from Edgware who visited Bowman's open farm in Hertfordshire, one of many farm parks across the capital. This lunchtime, he's in Great Ormond Street Hospital after contracting the E. coli bug. Doctors say he's been permanently brain damaged. From Tom's family today, sadness and anger after it was revealed that 2 other children had fallen ill with the bug following trips to the farm.
The Dowling family were looking forward to the school holidays almost as much as 4-year-old Tom. His dad was teaching him to swim. His granddad wanted to take him fishing. Instead, their days are spent at Great Ormond Street, where Tom lies in a hospital bed, unable to move or speak.
We don't know whether he's going to walk, talk, see, ever take solid foods. It's just, well, it's just wasting away completely.
Tom picked up the deadly E. coli 157 bug on a school trip to Bowman's open farm at London Colney in Hertfordshire, the 3rd child to contract it there. The first victim was the farm manager's son, but it wasn't until a 2nd child became ill that the alarm was raised. Tests were still being carried out when Tom developed stomach pains. Only then was the farm closed.
I mean, luckily the first 2 cases weren't serious. Unfortunately, Tom was basically as serious as it could get, short of him dying, which he very nearly did.
And that farm should have been closed down, and there should have been an investigation into the bug that started it all. I mean, not 1 warning did they get. They got 2 warnings, and yet they still let people go into the farm.
Bowman's remains closed while the source of the infection is identified. Already a goat has been put down. Meanwhile, other farm parks like this one near Hemel Hempstead are doing brisk business as the school holidays get underway. Holidays which Tom Dowling will probably never know. This is Simon Harris for London Today.
Well, Anne Goodwin is from the Chartered Institute of Environmental Health Officers. And what are the symptoms of E. coli?
Well, generally it starts off with the normal sort of symptoms that you'd have with food poisoning, so stomachache, feeling unwell. Sometimes people say they feel like they're starting with flu because they're aching all over, that sort of thing.
And how's it actually caught?
Well, because so very few numbers of the bacteria are needed to make you ill, they say even maybe 2 bacteria can make you ill, it's very easy to have hand-to-mouth contamination. So you touch something that may have E. coli on it or in it, and then, for example, if you're a young child, you're often putting your fingers into your mouth, and that's how it can happen.
So what precautions can parents take? As you say, children are always, you know, picking things up and eating them, aren't they?
Well, in these sort of situations, maybe the question should be asked, should very young children be taken into environments like a farm for that sort of reason? It's very difficult to explain to them not to put their fingers in the mouth. They don't really understand why. So that's a very difficult situation to be in.
So how worried should parents be? I mean, how rare is E. coli?
Fortunately, it's still quite rare. The laboratories are getting better and better at detecting it, and so we do hear about it more often. But it does seem to be around more, and certainly we know, for example, animals like cattle do intermittently excrete E. coli, so it could be around the farmyard, it could be on the grassland areas. It's very difficult. As I say, in those sort of situations, you cannot be more careful than very, very careful indeed.
So if you think your child's got it, what should you do?
Oh, there's no question, you should go straight to the doctor.
All right. And would you say the parents shouldn't take their children to farms this summer? Would you put it as strong as that?
Very difficult thing to say, but be very, very careful and very aware if you do.
Thank you very much indeed, Anne. The Duchess of York has been moved by the plight of another 10-year-old boy from London who's suffering from leukemia. Fergie made an international telephone call to little Daniel de Gale's home in Croydon to ask whether she could help.